Please check your settings and identify yourself by your name and affiliation when you are called on. Thank you. All right, thank you for participating today. We're now joined by Christian Bishop, and we'll begin the press conference. Use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you are called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. Our first question comes from Matt Demarinis.
Matt Demarinis, White and Blue Review. Hey, Christian. First of all, how you feeling, man? Felt like you expended a lot of energy out there today, and then I guess what did it take to kind of keep punching back when they wouldn't go away?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough team to play against. Those guys play hard, so it feels good. It feels really good to step up to the line and hit those 2 big free throws. I know I've been practicing them every day, so it's just nice seeing the hard work pay off.
All right, our next question comes from John.
Yeah, John Neotawa with the Omaha World Herald. Christian, I mean, did you ever envision you play a full season, the idea of it coming down to you at the free throw line? I wonder, like, did that thought ever cross your mind this year?
Yeah, I mean, like, this whenever you're in the gym at midnight or whatever, just shooting around, you envision like 3, 2, 1, you go and take the last shot. So it's fun seeing it come true. And like I just took a step and smelled the roses. Honestly, when I was up there, I knew I practiced it before, so I was ready to hit the shots.
Awesome. Again, I'd like to remind everyone to please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. Our next question comes from John Fantana.
Hey, Christian, congratulations on the win. What does it say about this team that when UC Santa Barbara goes on that 11-2 run to take the lead back, that you guys didn't give in and were able to meet the fight and find a way?
I feel like it shows a lot of resiliency from these guys. We were able to make plays down the stretch and play good defense at the end, so that took care of the rest of the game and brought us energy.
Our next question comes from Matt.
Matt Demarinis, White and Blue Review. Hey, Christian. Denzel in the first half, that jump ball play where he's flexing and talking, and it seemed like it gave you guys a jolt. I don't know if you remember that play or not.
Yeah.
Did that spark you guys? Because it seemed like you guys got quite a roll in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. When plays like that happen in the game, it's just like the little victories that give you a lot of energy to push through the rest of the game. So definitely got us going.
All right, our next question comes from John.
Yeah, John Neotawa with the World Herald. Just one more about the line, man. Like, it's a pressure situation. You know, you said you kind of stopped and smelled the roses. Like, yeah, what did go through your mind? Did it totally go blank, or I mean, how did you process all of that?
No, I mean, yesterday when I was shooting free throws, I was like, why am I missing? Why am I missing? Like, and one of our coaches, Ty Nurse, he was just like, he's like, just tell yourself you're gonna make it. Like, it's a mental thing. And so I just gave myself the confidence and I hit the shots.
All right. Again, please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. All right, we will go to John Fantana.
Christian, for you, just to enter this week, can you explain kind of what the last week had been like leading up to this game and what your guys' mentality was heading into this? You know, a week removed from that performance you had in the Big East title game, to now put that away and do what you did today and get on the board in this tournament.
Yeah, it was a really bad loss that we had against Georgetown, but we just had to put that aside and realize we're better than how we played. And so just taking it a day at a time, and it's all about preparation. You prepare the right way, you're going to perform the right way, and so we did that correctly.
Next question comes from John with the World Herald.
Yeah, Christian, you guys have hard hedged and try to get the ball out of playmakers' hands all year, and you've been a big part in that. But just with this specific game plan, like, how much effort did you have to expend trying to keep McLaughlin under control as he navigated around those ball screens?
Yeah, man, he's a quick, really good player. But we got a lot of guys like that in the NBA, or not in the NBA, but in the Big East. And, got to go against Marcus and Sharif every day in practice. They're just as fast as he is, so I was already prepared for it.
Our next question comes from Matt.
When they hit that initial 11-2 run, I know their run was a little bit bigger to get that 6-point lead, but when they hit that initial 11-2 real quick after you guys went up 10, what were you guys telling yourselves, or what did you tell yourselves kind of in those huddles down the stretch to not let the moment kind of overwhelm you and let the game get away from you?
Yeah, we knew that wasn't us. We just had to find our identity, and once we did that and we came together as a group, we knew we could succeed, and that's what we did.
Our next question comes from John Benton.
Christian, what can you say in key moments in this game about the way Mitch Batlock found a way to deliver for this team?
The dude's shooting like 40-something% from three-point line. We've seen him hit the craziest shots all year, and so we trust him. And he has the confidence to shoot the ball, and so when he shoots it, it goes in. And we're excited to see what he got to come because he keeps on doing it every game.
All right, our next question comes from Matt. Matt, you're good to go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I actually just forgot to lower my hand.
All right, no worries.
Sorry about that.
Cool, well then we'll go to John with the World Herald.
Yeah, what was the locker room scene, man? What did the locker room scene look like? I mean, it's an emotional win. Any win in the NCAA tournament's big, but you guys celebrate pretty good in there?
Yeah, everybody's really excited. We celebrated, but then we just regrouped, and now we got to get prepared for our next game.
All right, and our next question comes from John Fanson.
Christian, obviously everybody heartbroken about the way that last season ended, and you had this 2-year wait for March Madness. Was it kind of fitting, that in your first March Madness game of this run that it was decided, in thrilling fashion? And what was the feeling like just of this game and just maybe if there was a difference to the March Madness intensity of it?
Yeah, all my life people have been doubting me, and so just being in the situation, I never thought I'd be here before, and so playing in March Madness is a dream come true, and being the one to hit the big shot at the end of the game was even better, so I'm excited to see what we got in store.
Awesome. Our next question goes to John with the World Herald.
Man, I can't let you go without asking about the reverse two-hand dunk there late. You pulled one of them. That's not the first time
right
this year, but take us through that moment. You just kind of sort of recognize, this is what I got to do, or what led to that?
I'd be envisioning stuff like that, so I'm like the game I did a windmill earlier in the season, all day before I was like, I'm a windmill. And whenever I saw the opportunity, I was like, this is my time, and so I took advantage of it, and my legs had me, so I was good. I was able to do it.
All right, I'll remind people to please use the raise hand function if you have any further questions. In the meantime, could you tell us your thoughts about advancing to the next round?
I'm really excited. It's going to be even a harder matchup, so we just got to come prepared and keep playing hard. I'm really excited about it, though.
Awesome.
Yep.
John, did you have another question? John with the World Herald.
Yeah, sure. I'll just ask Christian about kind of a grinder game like that with so much emotion and intensity. Like, what do you feel like you're drained? How much energy does it take to just put it all out on the court like that for 40 minutes?
Oh, we'd be running a lot more than that, and they took advantage of that, and they slowed the game down for us. So my legs are good. Other guys in the locker room, we're going to be ready for our next game.
All right. Any further questions? Okay. Thank you, Christian, for your time, and best of luck in the next round.
Yep.
We'll be joined momentarily by Coach Greg McDermott.
Thank you very much.
Please use this time to raise or lower your hands as necessary.
Thanks, CB.
Good job, CB. All We will now begin with an opening statement from Coach Greg McDermott and then go to questions. Again, please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you're called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. All right, Coach, please give a brief opening statement and we will go to questions.
Well, just really proud of our team. It certainly wasn't an easy game, and Santa Barbara is really talented, and they were ready to play from the jump, and I thought they got us back on our heels early. And when we finally kind of caught our second win, I thought we played better, at least the rest of the half. But just they had us down, we had them down, and it was back and forth, and two good teams going at it. And I don't think either team probably shot the ball as well as they're accustomed to, but I think the two defenses had a lot to do with that. So, Christian stepped up in a big time, and, he's really worked on his free throw shooting over the course of the season. And, like I told him in the locker room, I hope when you're working on those free throws, you put yourself in the position you were in this afternoon with a big game on the line. And he stepped up there and knocked them both down. And we got a little lucky. They missed a layup down at the other end. And it takes a little bit of luck sometimes to advance in this tournament.
Thank you. We will now go to questions from the media. Again, please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. Our first question comes from Matt.
Matt DeMarinis, White and Blue Review. Mac, I guess it seemed like you guys were struggling to find any kind of a boost early in that first half. How much of a catalyst was Christian's just effort on both ends of the floor to kind of give you guys a spark?
I thought Christian's second run, especially, when he came out, got a little bit break and went in at that 12-minute timeout, I thought he really elevated his game, and as a result, got us back in the game on both ends, both on the backboards. His ball screen coverage was elite today, and then he got some big baskets for us as well. So we went with a little bit shorter bench. I think most teams do this time of year, so those guys were out there a lot. But Christian was terrific to play as much as he played, and have to exert the energy he had to defensively to get the dunk late, and then the two big free throws. As fatigued as he was, is really a credit to the work that he's put in and the great condition that he's in.
All right, our next question comes from John Fanta.
Greg, congrats on the win. When Santa Barbara goes on that 11-2 run to take the lead, and you're reaching the home stretch of the game, you've talked about your team's mentality and the importance of it. What did you see in your team's mentality to punch back?
Well, we don't ever quit, and and I think the possession that really kind of sums up our team is that I think they got two offensive rebounds on the same possession, maybe one of the last 3 or 4 possessions of the game, and we played pretty good defense for 25 seconds. They missed a shot. We had to reset the defense. We were on defense for about a minute, and they stayed with it. And we ended up digging that thing out of there, and then going down, and Marcus hits the pull up on the other end to give us a lead. So, that speaks to who we are. And this team is they fought all year. Obviously, defensively, we've made great strides this season, and we needed it today because Santa Barbara is a terrific defensive team, so offense was hard to come by. So we were going to have to defend if we expected to win this game.
All right, our next question comes from John with the World Herald.
Yeah, Greg. Christian mentioned he's put in a lot of time at the free throw line in practice, and you did too. Can you take us inside the walls there? Like, how much is a lot? How often do you see him working on that? And just how do you work on that? That it's just it's such a mental part of the game.
Yeah, we put him in situations in practice, at least when we had normal practice before we went into this bubble 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, where he'd have to make it at the end of practice, for us to end practice or not have any conditioning or something like that. And so he's been in some situations like that, but he spends a lot of time on his own in the gym getting work in. And it's been a little bit more difficult because your practice times are assigned here. But when he's had the opportunities to go over to the gym for extra shooting, he's gotten there, and he's made sure that free throws is a part part of that routine, because you just never know. You never know when you're going to be in a situation like that, and especially a one-on-one where you got to have that first one to give ourselves a chance. So really, really proud of him for the work that he's put in, and it takes a lot of moxie to, I don't care how good or bad a free throw shooter you are, to step up in that situation. And I don't think he hit the rim on either one is really a credit to his preparation and the fact that he stayed with himself.
Our next question comes from Russo.
Hey, Greg, Ralph Russo from the Associated Press. I know you're probably a little tired of talking about what a weird 3 weeks it's been, but it has been a really weird 3 weeks for your team, even going back to getting blown out in the Big East championship game. To win a game with this kind of resilience, does it say something about your team?
Yeah, we won a game very similar to this in the semis of the Big East tournament against a very good UConn team, and it was a game much like today where every possession mattered. And as you mentioned, we've been through a lot, and the reason we've been through a lot is on me, and I've had to work to repair some of those relationships of the people that I hurt, some inside the program, some outside the program, and that process is just it's just beginning. It's certainly not even close to over. This is really just a start for me of trying to become a better version of myself moving forward. And I appreciate the fact that our guys had it in their hearts to forgive me. And allow us to move on together. But there's still a lot of work to do, and I recognize that. And I'm going to continue to work as hard as I can for them.
All right. Our next question comes from Matt.
Hey, Mac, I don't know. I'm just going to go way back in the Wayback Machine here, but I remember, those summers after that 2018, 2019 season when this group was really young. You and the staff and everybody were really stressing to the guys about, the little things in those one possession games that had cost you that year so many times that you felt like could be shored up. The games you've won this season, the game against UConn in the Big East semis, the game today, did all of that, was that the origin for all of that and just getting the guys to understand the value of each possession in games like this?
I think the older you get, as you kind of navigate your way through a college career, the more you understand the value of each possession and how what your contribution means to that possession. And sometimes it's an offensive possession where you don't touch the ball, but proper spacing is important, or a proper screen is important, or a proper pass is important. And defensively, you may not be guarding the ball or the guy that's being screened, but you have a responsibility and you have a job to do. And this team, as they've gotten older, understands that more. And that was evident today because we had some very good defensive possessions against a really good offensive team.
Next question comes from John Fanta.
Greg, to that point, how much did Mitch Ballock embody that possession-to-possession mentality approach throughout this game?
What's great about Mitch is, he made several great plays at the rim in help situations. Got his hands on some basketballs in the paint and knocked him loose. Got a couple big rebounds, and he didn't shoot it great, but he found other ways to impact the game. Yet, when I decided to make the move to take him out those last minute or minute and a half to go with Sharif for defense, he doesn't even give me a look. He totally trusts in our decisions and the reasons behind the decisions. And that's hard for me to do, to take a guy out that I trust as much as I trust Mitch. But Mitch just wants to win, and that's all he's wanted since he's walked on this campus. And long after he's gone from here and when he's still playing, that's all that's going to matter to him is, I want us to be successful. And us could be a family, us could be a business, us could be him involved in a coaching staff, coaching a team. The guy is selfless, and he doesn't care about himself. He just wants the people around him to be successful in the organization that he's part of to be successful. And he's a big reason why we're standing here today.
Our next question comes from John with the World Herald.
Greg, this kind of ended up to be a little inconsequential because you won, but you've done such a good job, with your rotations and your hedging in terms of that ball screen against McLaughlin, but like their last 3 possessions, they did find the big man Sal. And I just wonder what you saw there. Was it a breakdown? Was it just a tweak that they made to get the ball in quickly?
No, I think we got a little scared of giving something up in the corner, and we probably didn't pull to that roll man the way we needed to. And I've got to watch it on film before I rush to any conclusions. But I thought our help was a little late. I thought the guy in the ball, and I thought Christian did what they were supposed to do. We just didn't cover him up the way that we needed to cover him up. And in that situation, you don't want to be the guy that gives up an open shot. But back to what I was talking before, you have a responsibility, and you have to do your job. And if they kick it out to a guy that is not a great shooter and he hits it to beat you, then you have to live with that. But you don't want to give up those layups. And like I said, we were lucky, and we had a great fan that passed away 6 or 7 weeks ago that Christian was her favorite player. Betty Walker was her name, and I think she slapped that layup out of the rim, and I'm pretty sure she steered Christian's 2 free throws into the basket as well from heaven today.
All right, our final question comes from Matt.
I feel really bad asking my question after that, but you kind of assured us earlier in the week that Denzel was closer to getting his mojo back than maybe the statistics had outlined. I just wonder, was it deliberate on your part to get him touches on that first possession of this first half and second half to get him going and kind of get him, I don't know, some positive momentum for the assignments he was going to have to do defensively today?
Well, we liked some of the matchups with him in the post, so that's why we started. We had one possession in the first half where we got him down there and he scored, and we felt we could start the second half that way and get a basket to put us up 6 or get him to the free throw line. But the 3 he had to start was more just in the flow of our offense. They were tagging out of that corner. That happened to be him that was in that spot wide on that one, and Marcus made the right play, if I'm not mistaken, and delivered the ball, and he had an open shot. So a lot of guys contributed. Marcus gets 8 assists and 17 points, and Christian gets a double, and Mitch gets 7 rebounds, and right on down the line, we had a lot of contributions from a lot of guys. But 18 assists and 8 turnovers against a team as good defensively as they are is really a credit to our guys.
All right, that's it. Thank you, Coach, for your time, and best of luck in the next round.
Thanks.
That's it for this post-game news.